it to me. Yeah.
You are struggling and you start thinking about giving up, I want you to remember the power of hope, the belief that something better is always possible if you're willing to work for it and fight for it. Our hope that if we work hard enough and believe in ourselves, then we can be whatever we dream, regardless of the limitations that others may place on us.
Dear God, I know life isn't promised to anybody. So I thank you for allowing me another day, because I know life is a privilege. I ask that you always keep me aware of the way I spend my time. Sometimes I feel like I need to be laser focused and only give energy to what take me to a higher place in my profession. Other times I feel like life is too short to only focus on my dreams. And I try to live in the moment and make sure that I'm not wasting my life only chasing and never experiencing. God, I don't want to take my God-given gifts for granted. But neither do I want to take my gift of freedom, family, and friendship for granted. God, I ask that you help me balance who I'm becoming with who I am right now, and be grateful in both places. Amen.
goals
Come
are
on.
just dreams.
Come on.
And ultimately, they fuel disappointment.
Exactly.
On the road to achieving your dreams, you must apply discipline,
Come
but
on.
more importantly, consistency. Because without commitment, you'll never start, but without consistency, you'll never finish.
We declare our right on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being by any means necessary.
Hello, fam. Welcome to part 2 of tonight's episode of the Johnny Binder Show. What did we miss? Warning signs, deadly decisions, and stories left untold. So I decided that we would come back for a producer's cut. I don't know if the minister will be joining me tonight, but we will see. Hopefully he'll be able to close us out. So I won't keep you long, but I do want to keep you informed. So I just wanted to go back so we could cover some important developments that are going on with some other stories that we have in our cycle. And, you know, we had promised with the Karmelo Anthony story that we would not let it go. And there are so many other stories that are starting to appear in the news cycle that it would be easy, you know, for the stories to be buried. But we're going to do our best, our very best, and keep our commitment to keep you up to date and help keep these stories front of mind, you know, because it's important. And we have to decide where we're going to fit in and keeping the stories alive. So the very first story that I wanted to share with you is the story that you may not have heard. This is a story about 4 young ladies. Well, I say 3 teenagers and 1 adult. Allegedly, they had stolen some merchandise from Old Navy in the Galleria area in Houston, Texas. And the police decided that they were going to pursue them, and even up onto every freeway in Houston is busy. So up on a busy freeway, and they had a brief accident with another vehicle, or a minor accident, I should say. And 2 of the teenagers decided they were going to get out of the vehicle and make a run for it. And in them doing so, they lost their lives. They got hit by cars. So I just want to play this clip to shed a light on the story and reveal the identity of the ladies that lost their lives. Here we go, fam.
I know y'all heard about the 2 teens killed on the Houston freeway after giving chase from shoplifting at the Galleria Old Navy? No? Let's talk about it. So on July 23rd, Houston police respond to a call of shoplifting at the Galleria Old Navy around 9:15 p.m., okay? Now, they spot the Chevy Tahoe in question, and when they go to pull the Tahoe over, it gives chase, all right? Now, it goes as far as giving chase and getting onto the freeway. There's a minor crash with the Tahoe, but then 4 women exit the Tahoe and commence to running on foot and running across freeway lane. Makasia and Makia Beck, 15 and 16-year-old young girls, were struck and killed on the freeway. Now, this is where the story gets a bit more interesting beyond that, but there were 4 people in the car. Now, one may think it was all kids, but in fact, there was a 30-year-old woman in the car with them and another 16-year-old young girl. Now, the 30-year-old and the other 16-year-old, they were taken into custody. The 30-year-old, her name is Deandra Mercedes Cook. She's being charged with evading police. The minor is being charged in juvenile court. We want to say rest in peace to these sisters. You know, hopefully the family has what they need at their time of grief. But there's a deeper conversation here, because why is a 30-year-old engaging in alleged shoplifting, right? Because we don't know the whole story yet. But why, when you're being pulled over, because we don't even know who the driver was, I'm assuming it was a 30-year-old, why would you give chase and then try to run across a freeway? So as more comes out about this, I'll report it, give an update. But, so far, rest in peace to the Beck sisters. My heart goes out to the family at this time. That's it. Bye.
Okay, fam, there we have it. Sad, a very sad state of events. But what we didn't mention, what wasn't mentioned rather in her report, and I thank this content creator for taking the time to share this information with us, it's that there was a tracking device that was on the clothes. So the police admitted in some initial reports, I believe it was Channel 2 that I was watching here in Houston, but that they could have located the vehicle at any time. So therefore, there was no need to pursue the vehicle, especially in traffic onto an expressway. Go figure. So really at question here, there are several questions, but number one, if they could track it, was it really necessary for them to initiate a pursuit that could have been dangerous to the general public? The officers themselves, the people that they're pursuing, but to the general public, And second of all, no one appears to being charged with shoplifting, which was the initial crime. They're getting charged for evading arrest. And I'm trying to figure out if the 30-year-old was driving and the other surviving teen was a passenger, how could they both be charged with evading arrest? So therefore, just a lot of questions, more questions than there are answers. And this reminds me of the Kohen Wiley story. And Kohen Wiley is the 1-year-old who was unalived in Mississippi when his mom was accused of stealing diapers. And she never was charged with shoplifting. So I don't know if y'all are up on it or not, but just a brief synopsis. Walmart employee calls Mississippi police officers. They show up on the scene. In the parking lot, the officer says that the car was coming directly towards them, like they had jumped in the car after allegedly taking the diapers, and they were trying to get away. The car was coming dead at him. So therefore, he had no choice but to fire inside the car, where he was aware that there was a baby on board. And this was a nonviolent offense, but they claim they weaponized the car. I think we've heard this before, especially in Minnesota earlier this year. So yeah, that's how that went down. So just here is the latest on and this happened about 2 months ago. But again, Baby Kohen is one of those stories where we promised that we would keep you in the loop. And because justice can move a little slow, investigations move slow, these stories drag on, right? Because they do have to go through the whole quote unquote investigative and justice life cycles. So here's the latest on Baby Kohen Wiley. So nearly a month after the 1-year-old, it's only been a month, was unalived by police outside a Mississippi Walmart, authorities released a 2-page report, but it still does not identify the officer and who was involved in the shooting, or explain why shots were fired or disclose video evidence. So initially they issued a 2-page report. I have no idea what it could possibly contain, but it doesn't seem like it contains anything relevant that the public would find informational as far as who the officer is, why he did what he did, and the release of any video evidence. So the family's independent autopsy found that the fatal bullet traveled through Cohen's body from right to left, and supporting their argument that the officer fired through the passenger side and not directly into the front of the vehicle. So the state investigation remains open. No charges have been announced, and the footage remains withheld. The central question is, why was deadly force used during an alleged shoplifting response? And why was the public still being denied evidence? So, Mississippi today. Mississippi is a hotbed of activity, baby. Let me tell you that. A lot going on in Mississippi. But again, those are very important questions. And I just want y'all to know that I work as a legal advocate for some families. And I want to tell you that getting video evidence and police reports and other information that you would think is supposed to be accessible to the public, and even the people involved in the incidents themselves, is often withheld. So it can be a big fight. And I think the minister is ready to join us. So y'all give me just 1 second to make sure he can get in the studio. Okay, y'all, the minister will be joining us shortly. So even though it's late, I want to thank you for, still want to hear your comments. If you're watching this on replay, again, the question is, what did we miss? And both as watching the details of these cases unfold, well, know what you think you missed in this that we did not have before. So information that we did not have before, rather. Okay. And I meant to put up baby Cohen's picture when we were talking about the story. This is baby Cohen. Beautiful, bright-eyed baby boy. Enough condolences can't go out to his family, to the community. Just I guess I'm having my own moment of silence here because looking in those eyes is hard, fam.
Eric, let me send this thing to you. Just one.
Looking in eyes is hard. So when the minister is ready, I'll bring him back on the stage. Fam, hold up. Got a question to answer for. Okay, fam, you know when you're live, it's live. So again, what did we miss in the baby Cohen incident? And again, this is a Ben Crump case, so I am sure they are combing all through this case to make it make sense. God bless you, baby Cohen. So I know that this story is of special interest to the minister. Did you have anything you wanted to share with the with our viewers?
Yeah, in the ignorance of the police officers, it hurts to see an officer paw into a car, knowing for a fact that the child was in the car. It's not if he thanked the child was in the car, he knows distinctively that car was in the car. And why would you pow into the car on the passenger side where the child is at, even if the car was coming at you, which it was not? That's a habitual lie. Ain't no car was coming. Ain't no car was coming at nobody. If the car,
Hello.
if the car, 1 minute, we talking about the baby. If the car was coming at you, you would have a tape, and you would be able to show the tape to the people that the car was coming at you. It's been over a month and a week or 2 weeks. They ain't showed no film nowhere. They can't dock up one. The police officer is a habitual liar. He's a habitual liar, and he's just lying, talking about the car was coming in and trying to justify his stupidity and his ignorance. And I'm going to do all I can. Jamal Bryant, I don't know where he at, but I'm going to do all I can to start a boycott on Walmart. We got to stop thinking that Walmart is baby Jesus. We got to stop it. Walmart is the one called the police on some diapers and created this problem. Walmart created this problem. Let's say she was stealing some diapers. Let's go and just tell a lie, even though she didn't. But we're going to lie. Americans are lying. It's not. So in the process, I'm doing a show right now, ladies and gentlemen. I need y'all to listen.
You need to mute them.
Yeah. So what I'm saying to you is that let's say we're gonna lie because they lying out. Let's say she stole the diapers. Let's just say she stole the diaper. What's going on here? Say what is it that would make you call the police and you see a baby in some diapers? You that low down and rotten that she get away with $6 worth of diapers, $10 worth of diapers, that you would call the police instead of Zelle $10 to the store and tell them you paid for them?
We work for Walmart. They might not have $10 to send. Only thing I can think of is if they were being.
You're not listening. The people upstairs watching.
Yeah.
They devils. Because they've been told no matter what, do it. So they broke, they ignorant. For you to call the police on some diapers, not a television, nothing expensive, $8, $9, $10 worth a bag of diapers. Then they found out she ain't steal them. Somebody thought she stole them. So, and they go a beautiful child. Say the baby name.
Kohen.
A beautiful child. TikTok. 1 year old. Unalive. And the police is still out on pay. And Walmart didn't pay for the funeral, ain't apologized, ain't said a word. You know why? Because Walmart is the Ku Klux Klan. They don't give a damn about us. Never have, never will. Never gonna do nothing for us. They got over 1,000-something Walmart. You gave the number the other night. Is this it? I wrote it down. It was Super Walmart, Small Walmart, 21 small ones. You wait a minute. Take it right here. Here, this is it. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, she gave me how many Walmarts it is. It's not many as McDonald's. McDonald's got 13,000 McDonald's. Walmart got, and I know y'all a lot of y'all can't boycott Walmart because you're already in there 7 days a week. And you think you in Walmart, you're in heaven, but you're in hell. So Walmart don't give a damn about none of us. None of us. If you're white, they don't give a damn. But they sure don't care nothing about us. So to call the police on some diapers, if that's in your thing or your constitution or your rules, then that means Walmart is that rotten and low down. They should have said if somebody got a bag of diapers, let them go. Them folks got $100 billion plus. Over $100 billion. And we up here with some little girl, let's just say she didn't have no money. Some diapers to put on the baby's backside. And you mean to tell me you call the police and this fool run over there and the woman take the baby and hold out the car? Hey, don't pop out here. I got a child in here. I think she shouldn't even raise the child up because he already seen her going to the car when they pull up. He pop out in the car. What I'm saying, Captain, if you pop out in the car, what you shooting on the passenger side for?
Right.
They not driving. Wasn't no car coming at you because you done took the body cam off and proved it and debunked everything we saying. But you can't debunk it because you're a habitual liar. I'm asking God to help me bring Walmart down. I want the family to call us on 281-896-8215. I don't know if y'all already did it, ma'am. I want to help y'all get one of the baddest lawyers on the planet and sue that police department who hired this fool and Walmart.
Yeah, this is a Ben Crump case too.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get in touch with it because this is too far out of order. And we've been working on this case before Ben Crump got on it. So I'm definitely gonna call him and tell him, let's light him up. And I want a boycott on Walmart. We want 4 Walmarts, 1 for the family, lifetime, and 3 for black folks to pay some of the reparation on the way you keep hurting black folk with what you did. I mean, that with Walmart and Donald Trump, that's enough to conquer America. That's just too much. It's too much. And it's too disrespectful to take this child's life and then act like nothing happened, TikTok. Like nothing happened. Baby Corn gone. What? The baby don't even know he gone. 1 year old. The baby is an angel.
Yep.
Any baby 1 year old is an angel. The baby don't know no wrong. The baby ain't been tainted yet. Because we know he's going to get tainted if he get with the Pride Boys or Ku Klux Klan. That's a Negro over there. Don't color boy, don't you go over there. But the baby ain't been tainted or nothing. A newborn, 12 months. Baby Corn don't know what happened. Look at this beautiful child. My God. Let me take a picture of this, man. My. TikTok, let me let you see this. Look, TikTok. Look at this beautiful child. And this rotten police officer. Low down, rotten officer. It's animalistic, narcissistic, systemic racism. Paw over there on that side where that child at. He's an animal.
but they won't name him. That's the thing. In the 2-page report, they still refuse to name him formally. And I don't understand why they are protecting him. So if there's somebody that has a clue because of your experience working with law enforcement or things of that nature, if you could let us know why possibly they're keeping this man's identity under wraps this long. Because this is unusual. This is unusual.
Well, they keeping it on the wrap. I believe he got a rap sheet that's long. It'll blow it up. Yeah. Why you wouldn't release his name? If
will
he
not.
Innocent, he say the car came at him with his lying self. You're supposed to put your body cam on every morning. When you put your bulletproof vest on, your boots, shoes, belt, gun, taser. The body cam is mandatory to every police officer on the planet Earth, except them fake ISIS police that Donald Trump got, them thugs. That's why they got the thing around their face. So again, ladies and gentlemen, Father God, give us the power. We stayed up for the second show for Baby Con. Give us the power to bring Walmart down and that dirty police and police that think like him. The papa in that car gonna alive this beautiful child. This officer going to hell with a gasoline jacket on. God, if we ever needed you, we need you now.
Indeed, we do.
Power. Give Catherine the power. Give me the power. Give us the power to close down Walmart. Shut them down. No more Asian, blacks, and the whites that believe in God don't go. And our Hispanic brothers. Come out of Walmart. And we won't sell out. They won't buy. We won't throw Walmart. So it's right on the table from day one. If we stay out of Walmart for 1 year, believe me, they'll lose over billions of dollars. And they'll come to us. Unity is power, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Don't do it for me. Do it for Baby Corn. Because Walmart, rotten self, called Walmart called those people, the police, and they unalive their child. And that's completely out of order.
It is, but there are a lot of things in this world that are out of order. And y'all let me know in the comments how you feel about a Walmart boycott and if you would be willing to join us in boycotting Walmart. So we're going to switch gears a bit and we're going to catch up on the Karmelo Anthony case. So the Karmelo Anthony case is not over. His attorneys are seeking a new trial, arguing that the courtroom was effectively closed to the public, prosecutors violated an evidence agreement, and the judge instructions restricted proper consideration of self-defense. So they also want Judge John Roach removed after he publicly said that the jury got it right. A different judge will be considered. Roach's removal on August 19th, following the new trial hearing on August 20th. Anthony's murder conviction and 35-year sentence remain in effect. The question now is not whether the jury convicted him, but whether the process that produced the conviction was constitutionally fair. And that's the big deal in this case, right? Because it sets a precedent for cases that come after, right, Minister? So if he didn't, trial or a fair sentence, then anyone standing their ground or protecting themselves under similar situations, they can now refer back to the Anthony case to uphold any wrongful conviction or any unfair sentencing. That's why the appeal is so important to the rest of us. If I need not have to tie that outside the fact that this is a 17-year-old young man who just did not get a fair trial. Did not get a fair trial.
Well, he could have got a fair trial when the DA and the lawyer was in the same law firm. That's a conflict of interest right there. They can turn the case around on that. Plus the judge told them to rush back a verdict. So those two things alone, and there wasn't no jury's fears. Okay. And then they had 21 people now come there and tell 21 different lies. And they didn't let the media in because they didn't want them to see that circus, because that's all it was. And the man didn't work with him, because if he'd have showed the autopsy, it'd have showed that he never stabbed him. He never stabbed him. He was pulled into him, ladies and gentlemen. And we have three witnesses seen the tape and seen him snatch the boy into him. Yeah, he was trying to go, and he snatched him back. That's the truth. The autopsy tells it. So this whole case is jacked up.
It is. And I don't want you taking our word for it, fam. So check this out.
Things were correct, and he thought Karmelo Anthony was guilty, and the jury got it right. Well, Judge Roach, you do understand that he gave that interview maybe 2 days after trial, but Judge Roach, you do understand, based on the Code of Criminal Procedure, Karmelo Anthony has 75 days to ask for a motion for new trial, and that motion for new trial will go before you. So why would you be making statements into the media about your personal opinion on this trial when there's still work to be done on this case? What you think about that, YD?
I think that his statements to the media after is indicative of a lot of things. I think that it's indicative, there you are. I think it's indicative of the fact that, he think this shit over with. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you get on her and say something? Why would you get on her and choose a side when you could possibly have a motion for new trial before you, and that requires you to be impartial? So here you are after the trial. I'm talking about right after the trial, almost like, you was jumping to get this done. You write thank you letters and all kind of shit, man. That shit is just, it's off-putting, man. If I could just find an adjective to use, it is off-putting,
And I didn't properly set this up. So this is from the Not Guilty Boys podcast. These are two very successful defense attorneys speaking on the Nolan Wells case. And they've been providing valuable insight both during and after the trial.
What the fuck you think you're going to do when this motion for new trial comes before you and you done already said on national news that you believe everything you did was right? When the motion for new trial is pretty much saying that you was wrong. You see what I'm saying? Right. You're not going to admit to that. The same way I told you people that he wasn't going to voluntarily recuse himself. You're not going to do that. A person that doesn't take any responsibility or accountability is not going to remove himself from that situation. That situation where he gets to use his power. You see what I'm saying? To get a result that he deems proper. He said he thought he was guilty. I ain't never heard a judge say that shit before. I done heard a judge say, I really ain't like that testimony too much. I've heard a judge say, I really liked her. I've heard that, but I haven't heard a judge just right after a trial come out and say, I was right about everything I did. I mean, really think about it. Like, let's take this shit away from the court. Let's take this shit away from the courthouse. Let's just go in the world. You know what I'm saying? In the world, you are required to, if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. You see what I'm saying? And if you're wrong, you take accountability. It's simple as that. You know what I'm saying? And somebody that gets up and says, I think everything I did was right, when you ain't, so you think not letting no media in was right? You think, not finding a way to honor that agreement that was made between the state and the defense on the record was right. Like, come on, man. It's a lot of shit, man, that's kind of, it seemed like a lot of steps were taken. Just like the file's still under seal. Why is it still under seal?
Right.
It's just so many steps taken to keep the public from knowing what's really going on. You see what I'm saying?
And you know what, YD? Checks and balances is a part of our systems, right? It's a part of our
government,
judicial system.
Highest level of government.
It's a part of our judicial system. The trial court is always checked by the appellate court. So it's not even your decision. It's not your opinion.
It's out of your hands. It's out of your hands.
Whether or not you made the right rulings or not.
Right.
I mean,
it ain't up to you if you made the right rulings or not.
It's not up to him. It's up to the appellate courts.
And what I want you to see here, fam, is the connection between, well, the similarities. I'm not going to say connection, but the similarities between the Karmelo Anthony case, and then you got the baby Kohen Wiley case, and then you have the Nolan Wells case, where there is all of this cover up. And then they wonder why, certain populations wonder why we don't believe everything, or we don't believe the information being presented, why we don't trust the authorities, why we question everything and become our own detectives, and the grave pushback that they are getting. This is why. Y'all want to bury stuff. Y'all want to put all your bones in the backyard and try to bury them and say there's nothing to see here. And you wonder why we don't trust the justice system to prevail, the autopsy results, the investigation in Mississippi, the judge's actions, them lawyering up in Mississippi. Then you come back here and it's all of this collusion, alleged, apparent, however you want to say it, collusion with the Karmelo Anthony case. But again, why it's important, why we don't want to let go, is that Karmelo Anthony put his picture back up. This is our son. And we want all of our children to have the best possible defense, get the best possible, fairest decision. So that is why we won't allow his life just to be taken away from him, in all fairness. So if you don't understand that, if you don't understand why certain populations that I'm a part of won't, and then others too, don't accept the case at face value, you know why. You look at Kohen Wiley, they won't even identify the officer that's involved. They won't even provide a reason. They won't provide videotape. Come on. I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on, because this is upsetting to me. And the next case I want to talk about is Corey Ruiz, right? Oh, and I forgot about Cyrus Karmic Belton. We've just had case after case after case where it just seems that there's just a lot of fugaziness, a lot of tomfoolery, and we're tired. Everybody want to claim white fatigue, black fatigue. How about cover-up fatigue? How about injustice fatigue? Damn it, we just tired, You know. So I want to go back and touch on Corey Ruiz. So for those of you who may not know, Ruiz was unalived by police officers in Wisconsin last week. And we don't know what type of cover-up, if there be a cover-up, if there be anything forthcoming, but Unfortunately, it just looks like a whole lot of business as usual with that particular case. So this is Corey Ruiz. And here's the latest. So new synchronized cell phone videos show the entire encounter, from Ruiz falling off of his bicycle to being pow-pow. It lasted only 28 seconds. A knife can be seen in his hand during the part of the struggle, and police say the officer was injured. But just 7 seconds passed between the first warning about the knife and the officer firing 3 pow-pows at close range. So there was only 7 seconds between the time he was warned and the time he was executed. So the investigation is still underway. No charging decisions have been announced, and the officer's identity remains undisclosed. Now, does that sound familiar? Does it sound familiar? Now, we were working on a case. When I say we, me and the minister were working on a case here in Houston with Tony Underwood. Rest in power, Tony Underwood. And the officer, he wasn't unalived. However, the officer did, he wasn't unalived at the scene. Let me put it that way. He was laying face down in the surrendered position, and 1 shot was fired up near his spinal cord and neck. You know, like I'm showing, like y'all can see, like right about off in here. Just 1 bullet. And it eventually killed him. I believe it was 79 days after the fact. He spent in ICU after having several seizures, after having heart attacks, after having strokes, after losing ginormous amounts of copious amounts of life juice. Starts with UD or flood with a B. And yeah, the fight was simply then just to get his family in to be able to see him and make sure he was okay. So the point of me mentioning that is we knew the officer's name within a couple of days, weeks, maybe it was a week. We knew the officer's name who was involved in the incident. So now I'm not understanding in the case with Ruiz and then the case with Kohen Wiley, why they aren't releasing the names of the officers. Protection be damned. This is what they signed up for. So if an incident goes down, is it public information or is it not? Again, what did we miss? What am I missing in the scenario where it's that important, where it's important to conceal that information? Inquiry minds want to know. Again, we're talking about warning signs, deadly decisions, and stories left untold. And that part of this story is being left untold. Who is the officer? And I want to hear his justification for essentially executing this beautiful young man who has a beautiful daughter, 13-year-old daughter, who looks just like him, split image of him, speaks so eloquently, so powerfully about what it means to her and her life, having lost her father in such a tragic way. So again, heart, and this is another Ben Crump case. Ben Crump is busy, and I want us to keep Ben Crump in prayer. Prayer for his protection, his safety, and his health, and may he be strong and keep on going and fighting the good fight. And there's a lot of fights. There are a lot of fights. So it looks like Minister is back with us. Minister, did you have any comments on the Ruiz case? I don't think so. We have to keep the hour. I don't even know why I'm as perky as I am, family. Oh, but I guess this has me kind of hot around some of these situations. Yeah, and I have a friend that's up with me, Radio Job. And it says people found out the name of the officer online. I can see why they wouldn't share it officially. Yeah, I agree. But I'm not going to report it until it becomes official. We can't afford to have any mishaps here. And he says, yes, it's exhausting. And I think that's the point. They want people so exhausted, they stop fighting it. And we're going to have to, that's an excellent point. If we're going to be committed to this, fam, we have to be committed to fighting the good fight. And Job, I already know how you're going to feel about this next statement. But where our strength runs out, where we get tired in our own human strength, we know we have a God to carry us over. If we have faith and trust that he can do that for us, he will deliver us and give us that extra flight. He'll be the wind beneath our wings, because I can go on all night to tell you about how he's renewed my strength and helped me through situations, honey, that I didn't think was humanly possible for me to overcome or work through. So again, prayers with this family, prayers with everyone watching. Again, we do have to safeguard our own personal, put boundaries up around our consumption of this kind of material. So when we start to be burned out, I get burned out, having to cover it and having to watch it and having to research it. It can make you numb. But when you get that way, you just have to disconnect for a while. They're telling you that you just need to disconnect, reconnect, get centered with your humanity, and come back, refocus, and rededicate. Because we're not going to stop. If you tune in to the Johnny Binder Show, we might have to go 3-4 hours. I have no idea, but we're going to keep these stories on the forefront. That is the commitment that we have made to our audience. And that is what we're going to do. Not just y'all, mind you, but to the family. Because it's important that these names stay in the algorithm. So, my last story. And this is a very tragic story. And just sad to report it. And, you know, it's different. It's very different than what we're used to. We have a man that unalived his whole family and himself. And I don't think we have the answers as to why. I don't know if there were any warning signs, as we say, that would have enabled family and friends to step in, or counselors, things of that nature to prevent this from happening. So here we go, fam.
First, like just to start with a statement on behalf of Sheriff DeBoer, the Sheriff's Office would like to first recognize the scope of this tragedy. This is far more than a news story. This situation personally impacts dozens, if not hundreds of people in the county. Our hearts go out to those families, the neighbors, the co-workers, the teachers, the students of Grand Haven Public Schools, and the friends of the victims. This is an unspeakable tragedy that we may never completely understand why it happened, but we'll do our best to find the answers and to honor the memory of those victims. I'll then go a little bit into the updated information here, and then from there I'll answer any questions that you guys might have. The Ottawa County Sheriff's Office is investigating the suspicious deaths of a family in Grand Haven Township. The investigation began on the morning of July 24th, 2026, when deputies were assisting the Grand Haven Township Fire Department on a house fire call. At approximately 11:42 a.m., sheriff's deputies and fire personnel went to this area in the 14900 block of Riverside Trail in Grand Haven Township after receiving a call for smoke showing from a residence in the area. Fire personnel began working to suppress the fire and entered the residence to check for victims, and at that time numerous decedents were found inside the home, and sheriff's detectives began an investigation at that time. On-scene investigation showed that at least some of the decedents had gunshot wounds, and the initial number of decedents found inside was 8. 2 of them were adults and 6 of them were children. Since that time, Sheriff's Office detectives and investigators have continued to investigate, and forensic autopsies have been completed at Corewell Health Blodgett Hospital. The decedents have been positively identified at this point, and the cause and manner of death has been established. The deceased adults are Christopher Karalkowitz, age 47 of Grand Haven, and Amanda Karalkowitz, age 39 of Grand Haven. The couple were married. The 6 deceased Karalkowitz children's name will not be released at this time. These include males ages 15, 12, 11, and 5, and females age 11 and 11. 4 of the children were biological children, and 2 were adopted. After the post-mortem autopsies, it was determined that the cause of death for all the subjects involved in this was ruled gunshot wounds, and the manner of death for Amanda and the 6 children was ruled homicide. The manner of death for Christopher has been ruled suicide. Additionally, after checking with the Michigan State Police Fire and Arson investigators, it was determined they're working to identify the cause and origin of the fire. We don't have that official report yet, but preliminary indications are that the fire was intentionally set in numerous different places throughout the residence on the interior of the home. The family pets also perished due to fire or smoke inhalation. I can tell you that no suspects remain at large in this incident at this time. The investigation at this point shows that this was a murder-suicide, with the fire being started after the murders. The case remains open and under investigation to try to get to the bottom and get answers of what happened leading up to the incident.
Just want to pause for just a moment. Condolences to the family. Love and light. This is just sad, and it's a tragedy that we see far too often. It was a similar incident that we just saw in Baton Rouge, where a man took the life of 2 of his children and severely wounded their mothers. My God, I want to say that was eight kids. 8 children as well in that particular incident. And, when we know who, when the assailant unalives themselves, that there cannot be any justice in that regard. So really all we're left to do is ask, what could we have done differently? And when I say we, I'm speaking of the community at large. Those close to them, were there any signs that they could have seen? Were there any warnings? In the case in Baton Rouge, he had warned her that he would unalive her if she ever tried to leave. Was jealousy or the woman threatening to leave even the motive? Because recently there was a similar circumstance here in Houston where a man unalived his wife, whom we thought was pregnant at the time, but that turned out to be a false report, himself and his 2 children. And the motive turned out to be financial. So, I'm reporting and producing at the same time. I will try to find a picture of the Mitchell family that I can share. But according to reports, the Mitchell family, which was here in Houston, her parents, Ty's parents, are filing a lawsuit against Houston and Harris County for the autopsy procedures. All right. So y'all excuse me. Here we go. So again, Ty Mitchell was not pregnant. Her family said that the claim was false and unsupported by law enforcement or the autopsy. However, the major update is a wrongful death lawsuit filed by Ty's parents. It alleges that Matthew Mitchell planned to unalive Ty and their children, 8-year-old Maya and 4-year-old Max, while facing severe financial losses and accusations of fraud. According to the lawsuit, indoor ring recordings captured Matthew saying, "Gotta unalive everybody," that he needed to end it and that he was in such a deep hole. The children were the last recorded getting ready for bed on May 3rd. The family was found unalive May 4th. The medical examiner concluded it was homicide and unaliving. The lawsuit also alleges Matthew's relatives helped transfer approximately $1.4 million to keep it beyond the reach of Ty and potential creditors. Those financial accusations have not been proven in court, the Houston Chronicle said. So that's where we are with that particular story. So there are different motivations, and the minister always talks about, it's either going to be jealousy or it's going to be financial. And unfortunately, this was financially motivated here in Houston. And again, a tragedy. And Ty Mitchell seemed to be a real light unto the world. So yeah, condolences to the family. And even though money won't bring her back, at least I understand that it could give them some closure, some remedy, and being able to hold someone accountable for losing their daughter. So fam, that is all I have tonight. That was a lot, but I wanted to come back and touch base just to keep you abreast of what's happening. Again, these news cycles travel so fast. A lot of times we blink and there's something new, like the Nolan Wells case. I looked up and boy, we had all kind of new stories pop up within 2 to 3 hours. So again, we will chase it down, see if it's, even if I don't think I personally believe it, I'm going to put it out there anyway, just to see your thoughts so you can see where the story is headed. But again, that is all I have for you tonight. And thank you. Thank you for Minister Binder for entertaining me at this late hour and my obsessive need to come back and report on these stories. Again, if you're watching this on replay on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter, please, please, please drop us a comment, give us a thumbs up, help us keep these stories alive, relevant, and in the algorithm so we can make a difference in our own way. Again, appreciate your support. Love you all. Peace, blessings, and rest well.
Beautiful, proud. I must be respected. I must be protected.